Guaraná na mente, inspiração na canção, conexão perfeita, sem complicação. Guaraná Antártica, sabor que contagia na batida lo-fi, traz a nostalgia. Do Rio a Tóquio, conexão tão linda. Shibuya aqui no fall, energia que não finda. Caminhando em Shibuya, cruzando multidões, pensamentos leves guiados por canções. Cada gole um flash, memórias em emoções. Guaraná é vida batendo nos corações. Cultura que se mistura, Brasil e Japão. Ritmos que se encontram em perfeita união. Na garrafa verde, a diversão. Antártica é o toque nessa nossa missão. Guaraná Antártica, sabor que contagia na batida lo-fi, traz a nostalgia. Do Rio a Tóquio, conexão tão linda. Shibuya aqui no fall, energia que não finda. Caminhando em Shibuya, cruzando multidões, pensamentos leves guiados por canções. Cada gole um flash, memórias em emoções. Guaraná é vida batendo nos corações. Cultura que se mistura, Brasil e Japão. Ritmos que se encontram em perfeita união. Na garrafa verde a pura diversão. Antártica é o toque nessa nossa missão. Guaraná Antártica, sabor.
Okay, we're gonna sync my volume mic. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's just see what. I am trying to. All right, guys. There we go. And there we go. And I've got my... All right, what are we looking at? Let's close that. This is my streaming screen up here. All right, I'm gonna try to do these streams as much as I can. I know, so a lot of times I'm not gonna be on it because I don't need to be on it when, you know, when it's just footprint charts and basically Bitcoin tape. If you guys would like to see other charts, for example, do let me know. All right. So I do a lot of footprint stuff, okay, as you can see. But all of that, I just want to say that all of that is just extra confluence for your charts, whether it's Bitcoin or any other chart. Those are all extra confluence. So it's something that I often say, and I'm sorry if my microphone is too close, but I did get this really cool microphone that I can use, and you know, it sounds like, I guess it sounds good. Yeah, so anyway, so price is the first and foremost thing that I look at. Okay, so a great example would be on the live, you know, maybe 30 minutes ago or when it ended, there was a Bitcoin sell order, okay, at this price right up here. Okay, you can see, here we go, this one right here. All right, I'm just gonna shift it here. So I'm gonna look up because that's my streaming screen. All right, so yeah, there was a Bitcoin sell order at exactly 71, okay, 689, You can see it here. All right, I'll show you, compare my footprint chart. Well, we can close the BitMEX stroll window. It's quite funny sometimes, but yeah. Anyway, let's make this bigger so we can, have a look at some footprint charts. All right. I also have my Bitcoin chart here. It's a beautiful day today in the south of France. Okay. Had an excellent time at the ETHCC conference. I was a volunteer. I do have to post some really cool pictures. I have some great stuff that I went to. I don't know if the quality is good on my stream. Anyway, you know what? Every single stream, every single video is an opportunity to get better. So I did screw it up today, but OBS is OBS. I'd like to also find out how to like stream multiple, on X and YouTube and TikTok and all that. It is what it is. So, like I was saying, okay, I went to the ETHCC conference in Cannes, just, not far from where I am. And it was absolutely phenomenal. I was a volunteer, so that meant that, I went and I volunteered every day. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. So many wonderful people. It's amazing because on crypto Twitter, you often find people are so, well, not nice, I guess, rude, or, they're just idiots sometimes. But in real, they're actually wonderful, right? So here I'm going to just put the Binance chart up because Binance does have more volume than the BitMEX chart. All right, so here we can really see what's going on. That's exactly what it is. All right, so now as far as the what we're looking at here and price, like what we saw was that 70, I think it was 70 million order, okay, today. And what happened was 70 million sell order, okay, that happened today, and that was at around 72.0, that was around 71.68, okay. So that was somewhere over here. Actually, if you look at the CoinAg chart, you'll see, okay, well, these are orders waiting to be executed. So they haven't been executed as of yet. So you won't see that here. Now that it's executed, you can see it over here. All right, let me just make that bigger. You can see big trades, large orders, I think. No, that's big trades. Large orders, okay, that would be, whoa, what is going on? Well, I'm happy because I'm in a short. So, yeah. So, where was that large order? Where was it? We said it was at 71,687. 71. Oh, way down here. Okay, here we go. Here we go. 71,687. There we go. That's it right there. Oh, gotcha. All right. So 7 here. This was the large order. Short. Okay. So some big whale. Okay. It was a Binance BTC perpetual contract. So somebody on Binance, as you can see here. They had a short, and what happened was, oh, let me lower that music. I use Suno, by the way. That way it's I really don't have to worry about let's remove the music. I don't have to worry about whether or not I'm getting, any kind of copyright infringement or anything. So anyway, what happened here was, as you can see, the large 70.33 million, okay, was executed at 12:06. So that's 12:06 my time. Okay. And what happened was price continued up. Okay. Price continued up. And what happened was that made it kind of like a short squeeze. That's a good example of what a short squeeze is. So, shorts are placing their orders. And what happens is price continues to go higher. Okay. In this case. And then price just falls back down. Okay. And this is a great example of it right now. Now I'm in a short, so I'm very happy if yeah, well. All right, now let me talk a little bit about this chart over here. Okay. Um, okay, what are we looking at? I'm gonna hide the big trades. I don't think we need to see it. Big trades are executed trades. They can be trades that are executed at market order or limit order. They can be your liquidation orders that get executed, not limit actually. Big trades are market orders, okay? Here we go. Big trades. Those nice bubbles that you see here, these are market orders and they can get executed, okay? The execution would be either a stop loss, okay? So if you go long, you'll have a sell order as a stop loss. If you are short, you will have a long order as a stop loss. And usually our stop losses are market orders, okay? There are also market orders, that are waiting there. They're big trades, okay? We can customize that as to how big we want to see those trades. But for now, yeah, it's just the default. So those are just the big trades. As you can see here, there's a cluster of shorts, market shorts that are getting executed right now. We are, so it's 1542 here. So that's 942 in New York. Okay, so as you can see here, it looks like we're going down. All right. What I wanted to talk about here, okay, we have, let me just hide this so it's not so confusing. It's quite annoying because every time I hide something, it refreshes and the devs must be deving in CoinAnk, okay? I'm not really sure what's going on here, but anyway, big trades. Okay. I did actually post as well one of these, my what I'm talking about here, okay? And this is basically a guide. So it's a tape or order flow and market profile guide. It is something it's funny that I look up there all the time, but um anyway, I can put it here as well. Okay, so it is the market profile and order flow guide. And in it, you'll see there is liquidity map, there is footprint and explanation of it and what it actually does. Now, let's see here. Oh, that's interesting. What screen am I sharing? Okay, good. I'm sharing the right screen. Okay, good. Let's put that back up a little bit. It is so annoying sometimes to just keep setting this thing up. So the order flow and market profile guide basically would give you a great idea about, what I look at as extra confluence for my charts, okay? It will tell you, maybe you just want to see the charts actually instead of this. Sorry guys, I'm all over the place, but I'm really not. I know exactly where I am at because I've been staring at this all day, right? So, uh, oh, here we go. Liquidity heat map. I'll just remove that for now. Ooh, and there we go. All right, liquidity heat map is it's very busy. Okay, so back to the order flow and market profile. What it would show you is, what I've put together is exactly what I look at. So I use a lot of the TPO, time price opportunity volume profile, okay? And I include that as well in what I look at. Now, I know a lot of people look at different things, and these are not, the only confluence that I would use in order to enter a trade. They are actually, so price comes first, and then I would add these confluences, and the more they line up, the better it is, right? So liquidity heat map, and that is where liquidity is resting. So a lot of times on this chart, okay, you're gonna see here, let's go through them one by one, okay? I'll just show you liquidity heat map. Um, oh man. Okay, there we go. Let's just make it bigger. Okay. And let's hide all of that good stuff. Liquidity heat map. Okay. Now what you're looking at here, when I move the liquidity walls, okay, yeah, it's that is based on your liquidity heat map. Now, what is the liquidity heat map? Liquidity heat map is actually where large liquidation may occur, and it is calculated with estimated liquidation levels, okay, from market data across Binance, BitMEX, so it's aggregated market data. And these are usually correct. Price likes to go towards liquidity, and liquidity usually acts as a cluster. Okay, so they act as a magnet for price. They usually come in clusters, and they act as a magnet for price. So price tends to always gravitate towards these dense areas of liquidity. Okay, as you can see here in this example, okay, yeah, in this example, I had a liquidity wall up here. As you can see, price came, took out that large liquidity wall. Now these are not, and I like to use the just like large amounts of liquidity, because as you can see here, if I move my thing, my little cursor up here for liquidity, there's liquidity everywhere. That is what moves the market, right? People want to buy, people want to sell, and to buy and sell, you need liquidity. So there's liquidity everywhere. However, what I like to do is I like to just look at important areas of liquidity. So I kind of like, play around with the amount of Bitcoin. This value is in Bitcoin, so it's 173 Bitcoin about. So I'd like to see that kind of liquidity all around the charts, okay? That amount, all right? And so as you can see here, I had my liquidity, text right next to the liquidity areas. Price came, it took it out, and that was also an important area. That was the area of the high of yesterday. So it is an obvious place, okay, to come and get liquidity. All right, there's a lot of liquidity probably sitting there where a lot of people went short after, all that craziness that happened yesterday. All right, so price came and it took it out, and yeah, that's it. So as you can see here, if you don't see the liquidity lines, okay, or walls is what I like to call them. If you don't see the liquidity walls extending beyond price, okay, so price is currently here. So this liquidity wall still exists. These do. However, these ones have, has been taken out. Okay, so they do not exist anymore. Yeah, so that's liquidity walls. Another thing you would see with liquidity walls, and it is really a great way to just like, go on the charts and basically stare at it. You can get 1 week free trial with CoinAnk if you join them, and you go to their Discord and you ask them for 1 week. They'll be very happy to give you 1 week. They're very nice people, and I do enjoy working with them or using their service, because yeah, I paid for my service here. All right, for my subscription. So as you can see here, there's liquidity everywhere. And to summarize, I like to look at larger liquidity than have all of the liquidity all over the chart. Otherwise it gets like very, very busy and confusing. Okay, so I would, when you see these lives, which I'll leave on basically as much as I can, what you'll see is that I would often move the liquidity walls from one area, okay, to the other, right? So where I think based on price, because that is what I look at first, I look at the price and then I look at the liquidity. Now let me just I'm just gonna put this chart up there so I can reference it easy. All right, when I'm discussing stuff. Okay, and that is liquidity. Now, if we want to look at the liquidity or liquidation heat map, for 1 day or 12 hours, let's have a look at 1 day. I'm sure it took out a lot. Oh, look at that. It took out all the liquidity up here, and there's a lot of liquidity right under here. The more yellow or the yellower the lines are, the higher, okay, the liquidation amount is. This is very interesting. You have two colors if you'd like to see. You can look at the 12-hour one as well. Okay, I'm just gonna do this because my screen is all the way up here. I'll put a little music on. So I'm gonna be cutting, parts of this live. So if it sounds like a tutorial sometimes, it is. Let's get the music back on. Okay. Um, if anybody's listening and you guys can tell me if my music is too loud, I would much appreciate it. Okay. All right, let's do that one again. Where did my point of control go? Oh, that's in the... Why did it do that? It's really driving me crazy. Okay. I think that is it. Let's see here. Wow. Look at that fall. Hmm. It's crazy. Okay, I think we got it. What have I done? Hmm. Okay, that's the best I can do for now. All right, I'm not gonna really. What? Why did it do that? Okay, I have no idea what's going on here. Hmm. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna I don't know what's going on. No idea what's going on. Mm. Okay, this is so weird. I don't even know what's going on anymore. Oh, there we go. Gee. Oh. I have too many screens. That has to be why. I have way too many screens. Which I'm very happy about, by the way. Hmm. Well, there. After I can always move myself. Um. Wow. You see what happened here is that price went down, it built momentum, and it came back and it pushed through that resistance liquidity sell tail. And it's funny because I did put that on my X account. I said right here, retrace or build momentum and push through. So it retraced, built momentum, and it pushed through that bearish wall. Interesting. Okay, great. All right. If you guys would like, you can go check and see, you know, a lot of my posts here. Anyway, that's that. I don't, right now I don't want to see, you know, the price will use the news, okay, to get where it wants to go. So the news is also, you know, it adds as a catalyst for price to move. But price will go where it already wants to go, right? I hope my volume is good. Testing 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it should be good. Okay. Now, what is going to happen here? So, okay, for me, okay, I like to have the 390-minute chart open, okay. I like to also have my 15-minute or 30-minute, okay, which is here. And I like to enter on the 3-minute chart, okay, which is over here. So I like to have those 3. You can do 4, you can do, you know, whatever. I like 3. 3 is enough for me. All right, so let's see what we have here. What is price doing? Now, I always stick to first the most important thing, okay, price. And what I'm looking for it to continue bearish is that I'm looking for it to break this structure here. Okay, so as you can see, it was in an uptrend. Okay, we are on the 50-minute chart. It was in an uptrend. An uptrend is simply higher high, higher high, higher high. Okay, higher low, and well, I guess higher low over here. All right, so that's an uptrend. That's a simple uptrend. And it's the same thing in a downtrend. In a downtrend, you'll see lower high, okay, lower high, and lower high. Okay, same for the lows. You'll see lower low, lower low, okay, and oops, and lower low. Same thing here. Okay, so that's a downtrend. All right. What I look for when the trend changes is a market structure break. And a market structure break will tell you exactly when that happens. All right. So before I look at anything else, all those, you know, fancy time, price, opportunity, liquidity heat map, footprint, SMC, smart money, concept structure, large orders, big trades, liquidation map. I look at price first because why do I do that? I do that because I've been burned so many times just looking at this chart. For example, and a good example would be when that trade, okay, when that large order was executed for 70 million, you would think, well, now it's time to go short. And the thing is, what happened was price broke down here, okay? So I considered it a market structure break. And then it went back up to do a retest, and then it broke back down, or it didn't break down yet, actually. Price did not break down yet, so let's go on to the BTC chart because there's more liquidity on there. It moves faster. I mean, there's just more liquidity, so you can see, more price movements on the Binance chart. That's why we use Binance for a lot of, on-chain data analytics, right? So here, in order for me to confirm it's a downtrend, is I need to see on the 15-minute chart, I need to see a market break of structure. For now, this is a clear. Okay, it's clear M. Okay, if you want to call it that. One of those. All right, and that would tell me that it's time now to reverse. Okay, so an M, and then after that, I'd like to see a market break of structure. Now you can put it. I'd like to put it from here. Why? Because I want to have extra confirmation. All right, that's why I'd like to put it from here and not like up here. Okay, now there are two things. I'm in a short already, but anyway, there are two things that I look at here. First, two levels or three levels I look at actually, and these are all things that I've been looking at for like over 2 years. So today it becomes like second nature to actually look at it. I'm gonna just check my t-shirt. The first thing, or just there, no specific order, is the high of yesterday. Asia high, Asia 50%, and the Asian low. So this Asian range, as well as the 50% of that Asian range. Usually what would happen is that price would sweep, okay, the high or the low, come back to the 50% like equilibrium, and then go further up or down, all right? I like to look at the high of the week and low of the week, all right? Low of the week is under here, and here we have low of yesterday. Now, usually what happens is that if price sweeps either the high or the low of the previous day, it will not go and sweep the opposite end of that same day. For example, if we look at a daily chart, but yesterday it happened, so that's why it is usually what happens, but it is not a guarantee that it will happen. Usually it doesn't sweep both liquidity on both sides of the previous day. Okay, as you can see here, it didn't sweep liquidity on both sides. I mean, you can just pull up a daily chart and look at liquidity. Did it sweep the previous day high? Did it sweep the previous day low? You won't usually see it's sweeping both high and low. However, yesterday it did that. It swept the high and low. So a lot of people got taken out yesterday, I imagine. But anyway, now here today, so far, we have that it swept the previous day, yesterday's high. I'm not expecting it to. I expect it to go back to like normal behavior. I don't expect it to take out the previous day or yesterday's low as well. All right, so it's going to sweep the high. I don't know, maybe it'll come back, test the 50 EMA, go back up. I don't know what's going to happen. Price will, do what price has to do, and I'll follow that. I'll follow that as we go along. I'm not very comfortable in my short if I'm looking at the daily chart, and that's for another video. Because I see the trend changing, okay, and these bands, the red bands and the green bands that combine together, it's in my own indicator that's available on TradingView. These bands actually are the 12 and 21 EMA. I am a student of the real world, Andrew Tate Trading Campus. I'm a purple belt. soon to be brown belt. And I've actually incorporated in my own little trade engine that I built on PineScript with ChatGPT, of course. I incorporated the 12 and 21 EMA. Okay. It helps a lot in detecting the trend. And what I've also noticed is that as soon as the band changes in whatever time frame, the smaller the time frame, like the 3 minute or the 1 minute, the noisier it gets. But usually, if it, if it changes, if it goes, it has a clear downtrend in this example, and it changes green to an uptrend, usually there's one fake out, and then it comes back down, and the next one is usually when it takes off. That is what it's telling me here on the daily chart. Okay. So I would be looking to exit my position somewhere under here, depending on how price goes, and if we, the war doesn't start back by tonight or something. Anyway, yeah. Okay, so we did actually right now. Okay, what do we do now? I do have some, so market structure break. Why don't we do a lesson on market structure break, which is one of the basics of price. Sorry, guys, I got a Bitcoin price. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do a little lesson on market structure break. And for that, I'm going to pull up this simple chart that everybody, knows. The red and the green candles, because mine is a bit different. I actually use the PVSRA, which is the price volume strategy, or it's a analysis kind of volume analysis, price volume analysis, colored candle. All right, so the one that I use is price volume and resistance analysis, just telling you, where the different colors, how the different colors actually tells you like if there's an increase or decrease in volume. And I compare that with on-chain data. So it is actually very, very correct. So I'm very happy to be using that. Again, my indicator and the colored candles that I use, I've been using it for a while now, almost 2 years, even, probably more. And I actually know what I'm looking at. So for me, it's when I see these bursts of green or red candles, I know those are impulse bursts. When I see the blue candles, I know that, the price is getting tired. It wants to reverse, slow down, but it's not right away. There has to be some kind of liquidity sweep before that happens. When I see the magenta candles, which is over here, I know that that is a decrease in volume to the downside. Yeah. Okay. There's so many things to teach. So many things to teach. Okay, good. Let's go and talk about market structure break. Okay. So let's just see what my thing is doing here. Okay. Oh, this is Dogecoin. No, Bitcoin. I was very lucky because I exited my Dogecoin position yesterday and in profit. It was just a 1 hour, but I'm just really happy that it was in profit. Sometimes, Okay, look at that. How beautiful. Look at that. A lot of times I scroll between the bar chart and the line chart because the line chart actually reduces the noise. You can see clear break of structure and market structure breaks on these on the line chart. Okay, so it's a good thing to use every once in a while. I liked it. Okay, there we go. Okay, this is my. I'm waiting for. Okay. Okay, but before actually, so let's talk about market structure break. But before we talk about market structure breaks, we need to make sure we're on the same page about what market structure actually is. Okay, market structure simply means that the pattern of highs and lows that's created over time. All right, so in an uptrend, like I said before, in an uptrend, price makes higher highs and higher lows, like so. Where's my tool? Okay, so in an uptrend, you would see higher highs, higher highs, higher highs. Okay, and you would also see higher lows, and so on. Okay, in a downtrend, you would see lower lows, lower lows. Let's make it bigger. Lower lows, and you would see lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Okay, so this is a downtrend, and here is a clear uptrend. All right, now, okay. Oh, let's change that. What the? Actually, let's get rid of the music. Stop the music. All right, I stopped the music. Let's put it over here. Okay. So now that you know what what a trend is, higher highs, higher highs, higher highs, higher lows is an uptrend. In a downtrend, you have lower high, lower high, lower high, and then you have a lower high, right? And lower low, lower low, lower low for a downtrend, okay? You try saying that very fast. The first concept that I'm going to show you is a BOS, which is a break of structure. Now, let's remove that. Let me get a clear area. Okay. Now the reason why I'm using the line chart, okay, for now, and we'll switch between line chart and the candle chart is for simplicity. Okay. Here you can see it clearer. And another thing is that a lot of people don't use the line chart, like I've said many times before, but it makes it makes understanding the chart easier without having the noise. And then you can switch back and forth between line and candles, okay? But I mean, just for simplicity, it makes it easier to read in the line chart. So let's get back to the first concept of break of structure. A break of structure is a continual signal, okay? Like I said, it tells you that the trend is basically still alive and doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So here is an uptrend, and it's, telling you that it's going up, up, up. Now, in an uptrend, price is making higher highs, like I said, and higher lows. When price actually breaks above the previous high, okay, that's a BOS. So, for example, a break of structure. So, for example, here we have prices making a higher high. Ooh, a higher high, higher high, higher high. And each time, okay, as you can see here, each time the price actually breaks the previous higher high in this example, it is called a break of structure. So let us take this little, line thing here. Okay, and let's mark out all of the breakup structures that you can see. So as you can see here, this is a higher high. It made a higher high right here. And this area, okay, or this higher high took out the previous higher high. So now this becomes a break of structure, a bullish break of structure, which we will name right over here. BOS. So a lot of times, you're going to see break of structure on my you're going to see a lot of break of structure or BOS little drawings on my charts, and that is what it is. It's a break of structure. Now let's find other break of structures. Okay, did this higher high, or this is actually not a higher high, so we can't really call this a break of structure. Okay, so here I would say it was consolidating. However, this higher high, okay, right over here, this higher high actually took out the previous higher high, and now that makes here a break of structure. So here we go. That would be command. Oh, just use something that I don't know about. What is that thing that you... Oh, there we go. Okay, good. Got it. It's command and... Okay, good. Okay, so this here, okay. Now let's go across the chart and see if you can like find other break of structures on this little uptrend here, okay. Is this a higher high? Did it take out the previous higher high? Yes, it did. So it makes it a break of structure, okay? Right over here. Okay, now after that, you have break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. And again, the break of structure is simply the trend continuation, okay? So, I don't know if my volume is too high. So, yeah, okay, that is a break of structure. Next, we have, okay, let's see here. Now let's find some break of structure on the bearish side, okay? So over here, we'll just go over here on this side of the chart, and we'll look at some break of structure. Now, same thing, exactly the same thing. Now here, okay, we have a high, okay? Then we have a lower high, okay? A lower high from here, all right? But this is still kind of consolidating, so I won't call this yet satisfying break of structure for me. We'll go into the market break of structure over here, and then you'll see why I won't call it that. But let's, draw out some break of structure on the downside, on the bearish side. All right, let me just check the Bitcoin chart. Just want to make sure. Okay, now here on a downtrend, again, we have, okay, we have lower high and lower low. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and down we go, right? Oh, great. Now I have to remove this. Let's just remove this. Okay, now to see the break of structure on the bearish side, okay, all we need to do is, did this lower low take out the previous lower low? Okay, yes, it did. It took out the previous lower low. So in that case, it is a bearish break of structure. So we'll mark that as a bearish break of structure. Now, the next one is, did this lower low take out the previous lower low? Yes, it did. So that's another market break of structure. So we're going to mark that one as well. Okay. And so, we can continue doing that until we don't have any more, lower lows and any more bearish break of structure. All right, so here we can see that one as well over here. Then we have another one. I mean, this is a small one, but it is one. It's a break of structure, okay? Because this lower low took out the previous one. And here we go again, over here. And basically that is how you can find, okay, your break of structure. So a break of structure, again, is simply a trend continuation, whether the trend is on the upside or the downside. If you use your line chart, okay, it'll be much easier for you to spot the break of structure. Yes, break of structure. All right, now let's go to the candle view, okay, the candle chart, and see how this looks. You see how nice and clean it is? You can actually see where it broke the structure, okay, where the trend continued, where it broke the structure, and you know, which tells us that it is a continuing trend, okay. Now let's go to the candle and see how it looks. I mean, in hindsight, now that you know what it is, it's quite simple to see, right? But yeah, it's a great way to learn, you know, how to spot a trend, okay, by the break of structure, a trend continuation by the break of structure, okay? Look at that. So good. And that is it for break of structure. Now, we know, okay, what is a trend continuation. We know what to look for. We look for a break of structure. However, how do we know when exactly the trend changes before it's too late? Well, in order to see how a trend, okay, changes, okay, before it's too late, or, you know, before, basically before you miss the, you know, you miss the boat, we're going to look at market structure break, okay? And market structure break is the opposite of a trend or a break of structure, okay? A market structure break is not a continuing trend, okay? A market structure break is basically a reversal, okay? It'll tell you exactly when price is going to reverse. Now, here is an excellent example. We'll go back to the line chart because it makes it easier to spot on the line chart, and then we can flip, you know, as often as we'd like on the chart, on the candle chart. That's what I want to say. Now, like I said, a MSB or a market structure break is a reversal signal, and it tells you when the trend might be over and a new one actually beginning, right? So here is how to spot it. So first you see higher high, okay, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. When an MSB happens, okay, price breaks below the most recent higher low. So in this example, when a market structure break happens again, price will break below the most recent higher low. Okay. Now, in this example, and this is for an uptrend again, the most recent, okay, the most recent higher low, okay, higher low is over here, okay, because we have here, we have here, we have here, we have here, we have here. And so this is the most recent higher low. So price will need, okay, to break below this higher low to give me a bearish market structure break that will tell me that there is a continuation or there is a reversal in the trend, okay? So basically what the higher low, okay, this area right here, you see, oops. So basically what the higher low is actually telling me is that buyers stepped in and pushed the price up, okay? And when price cracked below that level, it means that buyers now are selling, okay, or buyers are failing actually to hold or to defend their price level. Okay, so they've lost the battle basically, right? The bears have actually won in this example. All right, so they've pushed the price up and they failed to defend, okay, going higher, continuing that uptrend, and the bears have taken over. All right, so it's as simple as that. It's just a, you know, okay, so this here now will tell me that it is a bearish market structure break. So MSB bearish, and you'll see that a lot of times on my chart. Now, these are the basics of price, and this is something, I don't care what, what a great trader you are, how experienced and all of that. This is what you will always and should always come back to, because this price is telling you something. Whether there is a news event, whether there is, hype, pump, whatever it is, if you see a market structure break in an uptrend or a downtrend, then you should pay attention. You should say, okay, well, what is happening now? What is price trying to tell me? Okay, everybody's FOMOing on Twitter or X, and you see a market structure break up. There's something that you need to pay attention to. Okay, and a lot of traders, I guess they put a lot of complicated indicators on their charts, and then they fail to go back or stick to the basics, or they ignore the basics because, well, everything else is just like piling up on top of the very simple basic I guess things we should do, okay, when we're reading price. So yeah, that's one thing to consider. And I'm also guilty of that, right? I've overcomplicated my charts for so long. And now actually, if I just come back to the basics, and each time that I lose a trade and I go and I study that trade and I come back to it, I'm like, well, there was a market structure break. Why didn't I pay attention to that? Well, no, I couldn't pay attention to it because there's so many things on my chart. I couldn't see it, right? So there you go. Experience. All right, so this, and then now let's see this market structure break on the candle chart. If we click on candle, look at that. Now, there are some people, some traders, okay, that use the candles for their market structure break. The wicks, okay, the candle wicks, and there are some that only uses the body. I backtested with the body of the candles. However, I like to use the wicks now because, for example, I find the wicks are less likely to give me errors. So every time, okay, so as you can see on the line chart, by the way, the line chart does not show you the candle wicks. So as you can see here, the market structure break is here, the wicks are up here, but the line is all the way over here because it's only representing the body of the candle and not the wicks of the candle. So if you switch over to the candle chart, you'll see here that you don't see, okay, let's zoom in. You don't see, you see here, you see the wicks of the candles and not just the body. All right. So, and before it was all the way over here. All right. But yeah, you can just play around with it and see, what it gives you. But here, now you can argue that, well, how come this was not a market structure break? Well, it is. It is indeed a market structure break. And switching from the line chart to the candle chart will give you a good idea of, okay, well, can I be more precise in my marking out my market structure break and so on. There's no set rules, right? A lot of times you have to backtest and see what works. So for example, myself, if I were to look for a market structure break on here, well, first of all, I know that the first market structure break, there's going to be a retest, okay? And then I know that, most likely it will, it will go in the direction it needs to go. So I would definitely mark out something like here, just seeing this area here. I'd mark that out as a market structure break. I'll probably put my stop loss, okay, above here, and I'll probably get stopped out because this came back up here and grabbed liquidity for all the people that went short a little too early. So now that I've learned, that I should wait. Okay. So anyway, that's a different lesson for a different time. how we, where we place our stop losses, and there's a lot of things to show you guys if you'd like to, and on these lives, I'll just do it live and then I'll clip it and it becomes a lesson. And by the way, of course, I am trading with BitMEX. So if you would like to have $50 sign up bonus, do click on the link in the description. And yeah, just do it. That's a great way to support me, by the way. You guys can, there's a lot of energy that goes into these lessons. Okay. Anyway, back to market structure break. So as you can see here, it's a clear market structure break, and then our trend continues. Okay, our trend actually continues. Market structure break, BOS, 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 and there we go. Now let's look for more market structure breaks on the line chart. Then we can switch over to the candle chart to see, what it gives. Now, under here, okay, I can see a market structure break. So we have lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower high. Okay, so here it is taking out, it continues to take out. All right, this is continuing to be a BOS, bearish BOS. Here we go, bearish BOS. That's a nice trend right there. BOS. And this one takes out the previous lower high, okay, but nothing takes this one out. So that tells me get ready for a market structure break. Get ready for a trend reversal, okay? So here, now I can go and I can mark my market structure break on the bullish side. Okay, MSB bullish. There you go. And now that I have my MSB bullish, okay, because I didn't have another higher, a lower high that took out this one. So must be something going on there. Must be a trend change coming, right? Now that I have my MSB, my bullish MSB market structure break, now I continue with the trend giving me break of structure, break of structure, break of structure. Oh, we missed one right here. Oops. I am clicking on too many things on this computer. Okay. Well, the lines don't show if it's too small, so I'll just do it like that. Okay, and there you have it. Okay, now let's switch to the candle chart and see how this looks. Is it messy or not? There you go. All right. Now, like I said, looking at the candles like this, and especially if you're new to studying the chart, to technical analysis, and so on, looking at the candles like this, it can get confusing. There's a lot of things going on here if you're new that you may not recognize. So why not use the line chart? And when you figured it out, when you get good at flipping back and forth between line and candle, then you can stick to one. Then you'll be able to recognize it really, really fast. Now, another thing I have is an indicator that I coded on here, okay, using ChatGPT, of course, a long time ago, actually, when I was learning how to trade, how to spot market structure breaks. I just, did that because I am in IT, okay, so I'm a QA tester. So these things, what I do is I try to break the code that the devs do, right? That's a QA tester. And so I do have a tiny bit of coding skills, but ChatGPT helped me, so can't take all the credit. Here, if you go to indicators, and I do have this. Where is it? I mean, as you can see, I created a few of them. Markets. Where's my MSB? Oh, here it is. Oh, I have to rename that. Oh no. What is that? Jeez, what is that? Market. Yeah, that's not it. Oh. Um, yeah, these are all the things that I played around with. Is that it? Oh my gosh, here it is. Jeez. Okay, there we go. Now, by default, nothing is selected, so you have to go into settings. Okay, so it's the MSB BOS FTB. Yeah, I have to rename it and all that good stuff. So you have to go in by default. There's nothing selected. Go in the settings, okay, over here. And here you will find in the inputs, you can show BOS MSB. Okay, you can change your pivot strength. All right. So depending, let me just remove all these drawings. Depending on what pivot strength, you see the higher the pivot, the more it will give you, just like different calculations for your breakup structure and your market structure break. All right, so you can just go in there and kind of play around with it. Okay, you can show pivots. Okay, but that is just all right. That's a great way to help you spot, okay, the BOS and the MSB. However, what I would suggest is that you do it manually by yourself before actually using those indicators. Or you can use the indicators knowing any indicator, all right, that would show you an MSB and BOS. You can use any indicator knowing that it won't be 100% correct. You would actually use your discrepancy and you would look at the chart and you would say, okay, well, this is an MSB, this is a BOS, okay? And it's great practice too, so that later on, when you become, an excellent, profitable trader, you're going to be able to see all of that and know that, well, yeah, I didn't use an indicator to do it. I did it on my own. There's some kind of, there's pride that comes with doing things on your own rather than, having it handed to you very easily. You learn more. All right. So, um, yeah, learning is fun. You're right. You enjoy the journey, you enjoy the process, fall in love with the process. And that is one of the things that I've done. That's why I'm always on my charts. I need to get a life. But anyway, here is a great example. Okay, now let's talk about Bitcoin at its current state. What do you see here? I mean, here we go. Oh, this is a perfect example. All right, guys. Um, we are on April 8th. Okay, so here we had a little break of structure over here. This just like shoot up, yesterday. So here we have a higher high, okay? Uh, I guess this is a higher high here. Oops. Uh, okay. Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay, here we go. A higher high. Okay, so anyway, higher high, higher high, higher high. And here, okay, we have a higher high over here as well. Now, if you look at this, you would see that it is actually indeed a higher high. So let's mark that out. And we know, okay, over here, and we know that a market structure break would happen when the opposite direction. So in this case, the bears will, take out the bulls, okay? So here, the bulls were not able to push higher and defend their position, which is over here, okay? This is their position over here. So you know that the bulls were unable to do that, okay? And the bears took over. So now we have a clear, I like to go right over here. Anyway, when we go to the candle charts, you'll see that we're gonna put it under the wicks anyway. But here you can see it is a clear MSB, bearish MSB market structure break. Now, what does that tell me? That tells me on the 15-minute chart that it has changed structure. But wait, you see, I don't know if it's confirmed yet. Let's go and have a look at the candle chart. Yeah, that looks confirmed to me. So one of my first strategies that I learned, okay, when I started trading in the real world was that it's a market structure break, or BOS. Okay, so what I would do is the strategy was I would wait for a MSB or a BOS. Okay, and then okay, I would enter. So in this case, it would be a short. And how would I confirm? I wait for a confirmed break of structure. Okay, so confirm market structure break in this case. And how would I confirm that? I would confirm that if a body, okay, if a body of the candle actually, okay, takes out or comes and breaks the market structure in this case. All right, so here we have a body. Now, if it was a candle that broke the structure, like right over here, for example, if it was a wick that broke the structure, then that is not a valid market structure break. I would have to get a candle, a body candle, I would have to get the body, the candle body, to actually break down, because that tells me there's a lot of volume that's full. Okay, I'd have to get that, and then I would consider that a market structure break or a break of structure. Okay, in these cases over here, but right now we're talking about the market structure break. All right, and with the break of structure, with the body of the candle that broke the market structure break, then what I would do is I would go, in this case, short. So I would enter on the next candle. So the next candle would be here, okay? And I would put my stop loss on the swing high. Now the swing high is over here. And if you haven't seen my swing high and low video, you can go check that out, okay? Just to give you a little recap, a swing high is 1, 2, 3 candle, and it's the middle candle that gives it a swing high. Okay, here we have 1, 2, 3 candles. Now the middle candle must be the highest candle, making it a swing. Okay, so you have here, let's see, are they the same height? The high of this one is 7434 and 74374. Oh, these are same. These are well, look at that. This is not a swing because I guess it's the same height. They close at the same high, okay, as you can see up here. We have a swing high here. 1, 2, 3, swing high. 1, 2, 3, swing high. 1, 2, 3, swing high. Yeah, it's so fun. You can go on forever, okay? So, back to how I would enter. I would enter on this candle here because I got my nice body candle that broke that gave me a market structure break, a trend reversal. Then I would enter on the following candle, the next candle. Okay, so let's say in hindsight that I enter here right now. I would put my stop loss at the swing high. What I found was that I just put it at the order block, and this is my order block right here, but that's for a different lesson. I'll show you guys how I use order blocks. Okay, let me just go mark the order block out right here. For me, this is my order block right over here. Okay, my OB. All right, I'll put my stop loss right by the OB here, order block, and then my target, okay, because it already took out this liquidity, my target would be just about right here. All right. I don't really go for a one, or I definitely don't go for a one-to-one risk to reward. I try to go for 2 and more. So I'll just say, okay, well, I'm going to put my target here. But if I see price comes down here and continues in a bullish, bearish momentum, then I would move my target or take some profit. I don't take as much profit as I should, so I do round trip a lot, but that's something I'm working on. We'll see. What I do is I'm always, I always have a stop loss, right? I never not have a stop loss because then, yeah, that's the only way I can get liquidated and out of the game. And I don't want to get out of the game. I've gotten out of the game many times and I've been burned many times. Okay, so yeah, that's not my goal today. I mean, not today, but now, present at present. Why is this giving me? Okay. There we go. Look at that. Okay. And that is it, I think. I think that is it. So BOS is for trend continuation, BOS. Okay. And MSB, market structure break, is for trend reversal. So easy. Now, let's have a look and see. As soon as I sit down, I'm like, oh, look at that. Oh my gosh. All right, let's put the music back on. Um, all right, let's see what is happening with Bitcoin. Oh my goodness. Well, at least I'm good in my short. Jeez. Well. All right, and that was the market structure break lesson. The next lesson, I'm actually gonna take you guys lesson by lesson. Okay. All of these little things that I have here. Okay, liquidity heat map, footprints, etc., etc. Buy and sell tails, single prints. Single prints are amazing. Single prints are really good because it really it tells you where price is going to come to. So if we go on a 5-minute chart, for example, and let's get rid of the liquidity heat map. We know it's going for liquidity. It's going to come and get all of these guys here. Matter of fact, it may go and get, I'll show you. It may go and get, where's that large? There's a huge, there was a very large order this morning. Did I mark it out here? It is in one of my charts. I just don't know which one. So there is a very, well, I guess I can't find it now. Maybe they pulled the order, you know. Oh man. Oh well. All right. So, yeah, they're gonna come get all these things. I don't know if it's going if the price is going to go all the way down there, because here we go. This is my chart. So it broke resistance. Great. Now this should be support, okay? Or okay, and here this is what I was waiting for. So whilst I was, monitoring price today, I looked at this chart and I said, okay, well, this could be an MSB. I anticipated the MSB. I didn't react to it yet. I just anticipated it and I waited. Okay, waiting, patience. And it came and broke it a few times, fake breakdown, right? Then it went back up, did this really big liquidity sweep, and I'm sure a lot of people got liquidated with that. Then it came back down. Then it really broke it, and that was it. Now it broke the 50 EMA, which is the blue line, okay, with a vector candle, and the vector candle is basically telling me that it broke the 50 EMA with increased volume to the downside. And what that tells me is that the sellers are definitely in charge, okay? Just looking at price, okay? I'm not looking at anything else. I'm not looking at order flow or anything like that. And a lot of times, like I said, from past experience, I used to ignore price and I would look at order flow and I would just get I would I would get screwed up and price would just like do something different. So yeah. So it's gonna come and get this big buy order down here. And then I don't know if it's gonna continue. I think it's gonna continue at least to the 200 EMA, which is the blue line. And it broke out of the HOW, the high of the week of last week. It broke out of the HOW on Tuesday, so I would expect it to come and retest the HOW. Now, if it comes and retests the high of the week, I would expect it to come and test the 800 EMA. but I don't expect it to actually touch the LOD, the low of yesterday, because if it took out the high, usually it doesn't take out the low as well. Okay, and that is it. That is it for price. So I should be able to close my short very soon, or let's see, what time is it? Let's see, what else can I okay, so here, just I'm gonna just like tell you what we're looking at over here. All right. Okay, so you know this is liquidity. Okay, this is these areas, these highlighted yellow areas is where liquidity is resting. Okay, and you know sometimes participants can create a wall of liquidity around that area, so price has difficulty to push through that wall. So that's why it's called, I call it a liquidity wall. I guess a lot of people call it liquidity wall. I don't know. Anyway, so that's the liquidity heat map. We don't need to see it because we know what it looks like. Okay. Another thing that I'd like to look at is the TPO, and this is really annoying because and the TPO, what would it show you? It's a time price opportunity, okay? And it is per session. So every day is a new session, okay? So this is the TPO from today. This is the TPO from yesterday's session. And as you can see in the TPO, you have buy and sell tail. So this is a sell tail, which is on top because that's where they sell. Participants sell. And this is a buy tail at the bottom, and that is where participants buy. Okay, now these areas, the buy and sell tail, acts as resistance and support. Okay, resistance and support. This is a tiny one under here, but it still acted, as you can see here, as support. Look at that. Look how small it is, and look how it acted as support. Okay, so these are great areas to see, okay, where you can possibly have price go back to. Now, in the TPO, in the time price opportunity profile, you will also have the initial balance per session, so each day. In the white line here, okay, this is the initial balance. The initial balance is a range. So you have the initial balance high, you have the initial balance low, okay? And a lot of times price will go up, down, whatever, and it will always come back somewhere here and kind of retest it, okay? Or just, you know, I guess balance itself out. I'm not really sure. Here we have the value area high, okay, which is the purple. And I put my things in different colors, okay? So that's why I like to keep everything in one color across, you know. So anyway, so this is value area high, value area low, okay? And yeah, this is an area between the value area high and the value area low. In between here is where I don't want to enter into a position because that is more you know, kind of like diddle in the middle kind of thing. So I don't really like entering positions in the value area high, value area low. And here at the value area low, as you can see, price broke through down the value area low. All right, and it is now, I guess, yeah. So this is now no longer, okay, it price rammed through this buy tail, okay, so it's no longer valid. So if I do a refresh, for example, so it needs to fill up here a little bit, I guess. Okay, so it's going to fill up here. What I do expect is that price will come and fill in all of these buy and sell tails, or at least these buy tails, to fill in because they are also inefficiencies. So it will come and try to fill those inefficiencies. Okay. As far as prints, single prints. Now, single prints are amazing. I love to use them because I know most of the times, if not all the times, let me see if I can find my single prints. The single prints would be in the footprint chart. Okay, so let's remove the TPO. And here we have, okay, so it's in the footprint chart. Here we have the single prints. Now, single prints is where price is absolutely attracted to. Okay, I've seen it, I've noticed it, I know it's going to go back there. The times that I know that it's going to go there, my intuition is telling me price is going to go back there, but what do? I don't listen to my intuition. I just, okay, well, everybody's going long or short on X. So you know what? I'm going to go long or short as well. I'm just saying it's an example, right? But these areas, okay, so this is single prints. So these are buy single prints, okay? And here is, you'll see some sell single prints. So in the red, sell single prints, and in the green, you'll see buy single prints. Okay, so you can see them all through, all right, all through the chart. And price will always go there and try to fill that area in because, again, it is an efficiency. These single prints, they act as a magnet to price, okay? Whether it is the same day, an hour, 15 minutes, 1 week, whatever, price will always go back to those single prints. All right, that is what I have noticed. No. But I mean, I'll do a lesson, obviously, on each of these in details and, just tell you what to look for. But again, don't only, look at one item, right? Try to, kind of like put it all together. And that takes time. So, takes a little time. You can change the colors and so on. I've been using Coinank for a while, so I just stick to them because I know it, and yeah, I know the platform and I'm quite comfortable with it. Now we have these yellow lines everywhere, and they're not, at least on Coinank, it's not liquidity areas. I should actually change the color of it maybe, because they're point of control per candle. Point of control per candle. Then I should go green. Oh, it's not a great color. I don't know. Well, I'll change it another time. All right. Now, let's go on the 15-minute chart because, I mean, do you really want to see the point of control? The point of control is where participants traded the most. It's where they found fair value, okay? And oh, green is not good. So here you'll see the point of control per candle. Now, maybe the 1 hour chart is better. Okay, it's less busy. So the higher you go, the higher the time frame, the less point of control per candle you will see. Okay, so let's zoom in on one of the candles. All right, anyone. Let's go to the footprint. Okay. Now, per candle, what you'll see is, here we go. Per candle, what you would see is you would see a value. Okay, so that's the footprint chart. Okay, here you can see all the orders. Up here, you'll see the delta. So this candle, this 1 hour candle here, is a positive delta, and that simply means that the buyers actually are in, there were more buying than selling. Same amount of trades. Okay, you can't have, you can't have a buy without a sell or a sell without a buy. All right, but in this case, there was more participants actually buying. Okay, but there were equal sellers to sell to them, but there were more participants willing to buy rather than sell. All right. So here you have that. Now, if you look here, you'll see the purple, okay, the purple little lines, which I put purple, are the value area high and value area low of this specific candle. You can see them in each of the candles. Value area high, value area low, okay, in every 1 hour candle. You can see that the same thing in a 30-minute, 15-minute, 1 minute. I will, I won't suggest the 1 minute or the 5 minute. It gets quite busy. And then after that, you will find the point of control, okay, per candle. Okay, this is the point of control. So before you had, we saw the point of control, the TPO for the session, okay, but this is per candle. So I don't go into that, into like details like this. I just, I try to keep it clean because it can get very, very noisy. And, the more data you have, the more you tend to just ignore basic price action, which is actually one of the most important things. Now, don't get me wrong, this helps me a lot with, where large orders are sitting, where liquidity is, and so on. Where, single prints, I know I know price is going to come right here and take that, come here and take that. I mean, it's, for me, that's obvious, right? But if I watch this too many times, then, or if I rely on it too much, then I know for a fact that, yeah, I'll probably ignore uh, what's most important, which is price. So this is the 15-minute BTC chart. As you can see here, we have a lot of single prints. So there is only one thing that could happen. I don't see any single prints up here, buy or sell. So what I expect is that price to come and take these guys out here. All right, fill the single prints or fill the inefficiencies. All right. Yeah. Oh, these are all single prints. See how price fills it up. Anyway, I'm going to change the color of my single prints back to something. What was I thinking? Jeez, why would I put it that color? Green. Oh well. Yeah, another thing I look at is CVD spot, CVD perps, because spot is actually where real value is, right? You're actually buying and selling, in this case, BTC. Perps, you're buying and selling, a speculative contract, right? It's a contract, so it's not real. You're not actually getting the BTC in this case. So I do look at spot and perp. And they both tell a different story many times. A lot of times, if it's both in harmony, so in this case, they're both going down, then that is harmony as well as price. Okay, then that tells me there is more trend continuation. Here we have open interest. And as you can see here, they're all going down along with price. So there's no way I'm going to be bullish in this scenario. But one of the first things that I looked at was my market structure break in order, okay, to get my bias, right? So there you go. There we go. Okay, and what else do we have here? Oh, and funding. Huh. All right. We do have funding rates. Now, I don't pay, I know a lot of people um pay attention to funding rates, and I do look at it. I just put it here because I know a lot of you guys like to look at it. But for me, funding rate can be positive for a long time. You see, it's like positive all the way here, for example. It's positive, 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 but price is not going up, right? And then, well, So, I mean, I know if it gets over extreme to the over, over positive, then it will have to correct itself. And I guess same thing for over negative, right? But funding rate is okay, well, it's one of the last things I look at. I actually look at price and then I look here to see, like what's behind price basically. What is happening. All right, here we have again large orders, so we can see 70,300. Okay, we have 12 hours ago, 12 hours 20 minutes ago. There was a bid order, so a buy order, okay, for 442.62 BTC, okay, at 7,300. 7,300. Let's see. Oh, well, that should have gotten filled. 73. Oh. Oh, so 7,300. So it's right around. Oh, so it's on the it's almost here. So it's gonna probably okay. Now you have to be careful, okay? What I expect is that it did break the 800 EMA. It may go back and retest, okay? It always comes back and retest. It also broke the 50% Asian range, okay? Which is the middle of the Asian range. It broke it down. So as you know, I expect it to go back and retest is what it does. As well as the 50 EMA, as well as the 12 and 22 bands. But another thing that I would look at here, if I'm looking at price action, is that here we had a clear uptrend, as you can see here, okay, from yesterday, yeah, uptrend. And here, actually, we broke down, okay, but nothing goes in a straight line, right? Won't go in a straight line, never goes in a straight line. That's what you expect, but it never happens. What I think is going to happen is that um, it will go back and retest, okay, the 50 EMA as well as the 12 and 21, as well as the 50% Asia line. All right. Now, every time we have an uptrend, okay, it gives a false breakout here. As you can see, the 12 and 24 bands turning red. Okay, that's a false, not a breakout, that's a false breakdown, whatever. And it goes back up again, and here is another one. So it's usually on the second one. Now, I'm wondering if this first one wasn't just like too small, or if this second one is legit, or if this is the first false retrace, okay? And then, it'll go back up again, and then, something like this. I can't draw for, like something like that and go back up there. I am not an artist, something like that. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so every single time, here we go. This is a great example. Okay, so here we got a nice little retrace, went back up, down. I don't know. Let's see. I don't know. We'll wait and see what price wants to do. Okay, but there are some very big orders that are waiting around, and I would look at how price would react at those large orders. So 3124 M, 3124 million at 7,300. Well, let's close this guy now. All right. At 7,300. Oh, well, we could just 7,300. Okay. And we have, what did we say? We have 3112 million, 31.12. Buy order. Oh, mill makes a huge difference. And we go top. Okay. Hmm. One of the reasons why I really don't, I for sure I watch, what price is going to do around here, but I don't necessarily trade based on this because price could easily take these guys out, okay? And I don't know. I don't want to be, with my little shrimp amount, I don't want to be in that. So, oh, 70. There's a lot of buy orders. Hmm. I'm gonna have to watch the price at 70. So we're watching, I guess we'll be watching around this area right over here. All right. Oops. I won't be surprised if it goes back and retests the high of last week because it did break it out on Tuesday, yesterday. So I won't be surprised. Um, hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to now do other things. Jeez, I hope I had volume on this all this time. I'm gonna actually go cook some pasta with salmon while this does its thing. I mean, I'm gonna put some music on, mute myself, put music on, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. Well, let's remove the box. I don't like the box. Let's go find text. By the way, guys, if you haven't seen it already, there is that troll box. If you don't have a BitMEX account already, let's see here. There is the troll box on BitMEX that's quite funny most of the times. Um, yeah, it'd be nice to check it out. Anyway, oh, so you see here, this is cool. You'll see how price reacts. It'll come back. Take that little single print out. This is a sell single print. Okay, it'll come take that out, and then it will continue. There is an algorithm. There has to be. It's just attracted to these single prints, and then it'll come and take this one out. You see the past single prints? Single print here. Anyway, that's what it does. In hindsight, it's easy to see, but when you sit here and you look at it all day, basically, you'll see that it always comes and takes the single prints. All right, well, I'm going to leave you guys for a bit. I'm going to go cook some pasta and salmon. Because, yeah. Okay, I will be back. Maybe with a glass of wine because it is the end of the day here. And I do feel like having some red wine and pasta. All right, guys. I will be back.
beats chillin' slow through the night, watch it flow. Study time, let it grow. Rain falls, tapping the pain. Mind clear, goes on the brain. All those dreams keep insane. Lost in the lo-fi zone, no fulfilled in each tone. Future's bright, seeds of song. Lo-fi beats chillin' slow through the night, watch it flow. Study time, let it grow. Lo-fi zone, no fulfilled in each tone. Future's bright, seeds of song. Lo-fi beats chillin' slow through the night, watch it flow. Study time, let it grow. यादें यादें तेरी मेरी बातें धीमी धुन में बस पते जाते जाते। यादें यादें या तेरी मेरी बातें हम खो गए हैं कि मिठास में। यादें यादें तेरी मेरी बातें धीमी धुन में बस बहते जाते। यादें यादें तेरी मेरी बातें हम खो गए हैं इस पल की ख्वाब में। तारे ऊपर धीरे धीरे चमकते हमारे खामोश सपनों को रोशन करते। हंसी की गूंज धीमी फुसफुसाहट शांत रात में नाचती। यादें यादें तेरी मेरी बातें धीमी धुन में बस बहते जाते। यादें यादें तेरी मेरी बातें हम खो गए हैं इस पल की ख्वाब में। समय थम जाता है इस शांत जगह में हर पल एक मीठा आलिंगन। उस प्यार को थामे हुए जिसे हम जानते थे इस लोफाई सपने में तेरे साथ। यादें यादें तेरी मेरी बातें धीमी धुन में बस बहते जाते। यादें cafe where the whispers play, melodies drifting in a lazy sway. Cup of solitude in the morning light, brewing scenes of dreams as day turns to night. Rays of sun streak in through curtains thin, casting golden glows on a porcelain grin. Notes of saxophone warm the coffee air. In this mellow haze, wandering souls repair. Oh, these lo-fi beats where time retreats, in the cafe's hum where heartbeats meet. Smooth jazz serenades as memories unfurl. In our little haven, the world's a swirl. Oh, these lo-fi beats where time retreats, in the cafe's hum where heartbeats meet. Smooth jazz serenades as memories unfurl. In our little haven, the world's a swirl. Reflections of jazz in a caramel hue, tracing lines of thoughts that linger on you. Snap of fingers, tap of time, soft shoe. In the rhythm of life, old becomes new. Sips of yesterday in today's cafe, holding on to moments that slip away. Vinyl spins softly when old records play. In this soothing realm, I'm lost yet free. In the shadows dim, where shadows sing low, lingers love unspoken with the ebb and flow. These whispered secrets in the air so thin, in the lo-fi jazz, new dreams begin. In the shadows dim, where shadows sing low, lingers love unspoken with the ebb and flow. These whispered secrets in the air so thin, in the lo-fi jazz, new dreams begin. The coffee is cold, but the laptop is glowing. 1,000 tabs are open, and the pressure is showing. Minutes crawl like molasses, stutter, pause and stop, waiting for the spark, for the one final drop. I hear the traffic coming, a distant lonely sound, hoping for a message before the world spins around. The glow of the screen paints shadows on my face, caught between deadlines, lost in empty space. It's hard to find the rhythm in this never-ending scroll. I feel the steady building, taking its toll. I know the deadline's coming, just beyond the haze. I'm stuck in this loop, living through rainy days. 'Cause nothing lasts forever, no, not even the rain. But darling, this waiting, it drives me insane. It's hard to hold a feeling when the clock doesn't change. Trapped here in the silence of this endless low for range. I think about tomorrow and the things that won't be done. The list keeps Maybe we don't need a final answer at all. Maybe the moment is the meaning before we fall. The promise of tomorrow fades into the night. Just keep the candle burning and wait for the work. 'Cause nothing lasts forever, no, not even the rain. But darling, this waiting drives me insane. It's hard to hold a feeling when the clock doesn't change. Trapped here in the silence of this endless loafer range. 'Cause nothing lasts forever. No, not forever. Except this waiting game.
Sitting by the window, watching raindrops fall. Got a coffee in my hand, and I'm feeling so small. The world is quiet, it's a lazy afternoon. Melodies in my mind, playing a gentle tune. Lo-fi vibes take me away to a place where I can stay. Chill beats and mellow days. In this moment, I drift away.
want some music that chills me out. Lo-fi can finally shut my brain up. Lo-fi can finally focus for more than 3 seconds. Lo-fi, lo-fi, lo-fi.